All right, welcome back. I got a Tuesday bonus video for you again. If you remember a couple weeks ago, I had said I wanted to do these Tuesday bonus videos alongside of my normal videos that come out on Friday. My Friday videos are when I am doing a start to finish of putting together a costume. But I wanted to do these bonus videos on just other random things that I'm doing around here. So I had wanted to do that every Tuesday. However, I got sick and that threw me off schedule with my actual work and then also trying to make these videos. So I had to miss last week due to just trying to get my life back together and feeling back to normal. Plus, I was trying to worry about getting work done and getting the Friday video out. So I am feeling better. And so hopefully the next couple of weeks, we will have continuous Tuesday bonus videos. So today, the bonus video is going to be changing out a skirt on an already beaded dress. So I had a customer who I made a dress for a couple months ago who, when I designed the dress, she sent me the music and she was skating to Ray Charles. And it was some kind of, like vibrant music. And so I thought, when I was listening to it, oh, this would be fun to have something that had a whippy skirt because she was a solo ice dancer. Normally I'm dealing with a lot of single skaters, and so they're doing triple jumps. And so they can't have real heavy skirts because when they're coming out of their triples, it would a lot of times throw them off on their landing to have something really, really heavy. But I thought, oh, it's ice dancer, no triples, it should be fine, right? Well, it didn't end up being fine because she got the dress, they loved it. But when she was doing her twizzles, because you do a twizzle, it's kind of a spin that travels and then you're on one foot and then you stop the spin. So when she was stopping her spin, she was feeling off and still being thrown into the direction because of the weight of the skirt. So they said, we really love it. We've tried to practice on it, but we got to go with the plan B. How can we change this out and make this work? So I said, okay, we'll send it back and I'll figure it out. So today is figuring that out, of how to change out the skirt. Because as you can see, here's the dress. It has this beautiful beaded skirt that gives lots of whip, right? But as you can see, there is a beautiful beaded belt on it where the skirt is attached. So how do I get the skirt off and attach another skirt? Well, I got to figure that out. I have an idea that I think will work because, I always say that this kind of work is fake it till you make it. You kind of got to get an idea in your head and say, I think that's going to work, and you hope it works. So I think it's going to work. If it doesn't work, I'm going to be in big trouble because this is an expensive dress and I don't want to mess it up. But I think I figured out a way that I can make it work. So I'm going to bring you along to show you that. So first, I'll bring you up close and I'll kind of explain exactly what I'm thinking, how I'm going to do this. All right, here we go. All right, got you up nice, close, and personal to the dress so you can see exactly how we're going to do this. Now, I think the best way to do this is to just cut the skirt off and then place the new skirt in its place and pin it to the panty, which is underneath here. And then I'm gonna have to hand sew it all the way around. The reason why I'm gonna have to hand sew it is because I can't get my machine in here. And I do not want to take these crystals off. The E6000 really adheres well to fabric, and it is really, really hard to get off. And it kind of damages the fabric, especially this is mesh and Lycra, and it's kind of delicate. So if I were to try to pull them off one by one, it's just gonna kind of mess things up. So I think the easiest way is just to trim the skirt off and then hand sew a new skirt on top. And then I can just go around the edge and add a little beading detail to cover up my handiwork. All right, so I think I'm ready to cut it off, but I'm gonna need to take a second to get my breath, get my courage to cut off, because this is an expensive dress and I do not want to mess this dress up. So please send me some good vibes, even though by the time you're watching this, it's already happened. If I'm posting this video Everything went well. I did not mess it up. But in this current time that Brad is in filming this video, I do not know if this will go well. But I guess if you're seeing this video, you know it went well. All right, so I'm going to put you on pause. I'm going to get my scissors together. I'm going to get my courage together, and then we'll cut it. All right, let's do this thing. All right, I have gotten my courage. I have gotten my scissors. We're going to cut into her. All right? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the panty up inside the dress, so I try not to cut it. Make sure the sleeves are over there. I'm just going to carefully just cut right on the line here. Try not to get any. Gotta just hope that it works. So just carefully trim. Just be as careful as possible. And I'm just getting it right up next to the crystal. It's almost kind of giving me a guide to be able to just trim, which is nice. Let's hope this works, because this skirt is just about off. I think I did it. All right. Last little cut. Now, I guess the question is, what do we do with this? Do we make some kind of little shoulder? Some kind of, that'd be fun, right? Make a little shoulder dazzle. How do I look? All right. So now that we've gotten that off, as you can see, she is now a leotard. And I need to pin it down and sew the skirt on. I've got the skirt cut. I need to sew it together though, and then like I would normally sew it together before I put it into the panty. So I'm going to do that real quick and then come back and I'll show you how I do the little hand sewing. So, all right, we're almost there. I think we've got this. Like I said, if you're seeing this video, it means that I did it. It means I was successful. It means that I don't have to make another, how much ever this dress was for the customer. It means that I was championed to make this happen. All right. I will be back. All right, I've got the skirt cut out and sewn together, ready to be placed onto the bodice. So what I'm going to do is just tuck the panty inside here, and then I have pins, and I'm going to start on one side and match up. I'm going to match up the side seams, and I'll just pin it down in there, and then I'm going to go to the other side and match up the side seam. All right, so now that we've got our side seams, we can look and see where we need to, because it might be slightly bigger. It's not too bad. And then I'll just find the middle and pin there. And then we'll go to the center of that. Like that. And then we'll do the center of that. Now, like I said, this is probably not gonna look super pretty until we cover it with the crystals. Crystals always make it look better, covering up any mistakes. Maybe that's why I have so many crystals on my costumes. It's because my work is shoddy? I hope not. No, I think I have pretty good work. But I just like a lot of bling. But if you do make any mistakes, crystals help, or trim help to cover anything that looks a little janky. All right, so I'm gonna pin down the front, and then I'm gonna get my needle and thread, and then we can do a little hand sewing. All right, so I'm gonna rearrange the camera so that we can do that, and I'll be right back. So hold tight. Or since you're watching this video, it will be cut together and just have to hold half a second. And just like that, it's been half a second. All right, beautiful. Magic. All right, so I already started doing a couple of stitches to get myself started, but I'm just gonna I'm just gonna go like this. Just poke in, and I'm basically doing a stitch in between each, if you can see up close, doing a stitch in between each of these crystals here. So I'm just trying to get it as flat as possible, and then I just stitch in. And then I can go over to the next one. And so like I said, this is not going to look super pretty, but you just need to get it on there, get it as flat as possible. This is where the two skirts came together, so it's a little funky there, but okay. So then I can just go like this. Now, I probably every 5 crystals, I'm going to knot it off. So here, we're about there. So see, I'll get here, and then I'll knot like this. Stick my thumb through it, hold it, and then I'll do 2 little loops. And you've knotted it off. That just makes it so that it just is kind of secure every 5 stitches. But doing this kind of stitch also gives a little bit of stretch to it. So like I said, I couldn't get this close up with my machine, so that's why we're having to hand sew it. All right, so I'm going to speed myself up because I don't think you want to hear me and and do all that and drone on about whatever nonsense I have in my brain right now. So I'll speed it up and we'll finish it, finish sewing this on, and then we can add some bling bling to cover up the ugliness. But see, how you can see, it doesn't look too bad. But for me, that's not acceptable, so I would need to cover it with something. All right, so let's speed it up. And just like that, she is done much quicker in that time lapse than in real life, but it wasn't actually too bad. So here she is in her full glory. She actually does not look too bad with, just as shown. I mean, you would not really be able to see this, the stitching. I don't know if I can get it close enough. But you really wouldn't be able to see that stitching probably from 6 feet away. Like, it's fine, but I want to make sure it's perfect. So I think what I'm going to do, because if you see, there's a row of 40 here in the center, and then on each side there's 30 with 20s. I don't want to add another row because then that will be uneven. So I think what I'm going to do is make it look like little drops. So I think I'm going to do a 30 and then a 20 on top of that. And I'm going to space it probably every 3 stones, and then in between those, I'll then do a pink. So I'm going to take you over to the beading table. We can figure exactly what I'm going to do. but I think that is what I'm going to do. So let's get over there and start some beading. All right, now I got her pinned to a board. So I use the 1/2-inch foam board. I've cut it to fit inside a dress. And then I can just pin her down with a couple pins so that everything's nice and flat. Actually, I'll put one more pin in. And now we're going to go in. I think what I'm going to do, what I decided since I last saw you a second ago, I'm going to do 30, 20, and 16 to make the little drop. So I'm just going to start here, go in between. Actually, what's easiest is just to do all the 30s. So I think I'm gonna, let's just do there. I'm gonna space it. That one was spaced out wrong. See, I just made a mistake. Take it off, move it over one. Because I think I'm gonna put a big crystal on there. All right, so we're going to do in between two and then skip one, in between two and skip one. So skip one there. Now, people ask me how I put glue on my crystals. So what I'm doing is I have a pen, I dip it into a little bit of E6000. I hold the crystal in my hand, which people think, they're always like, you're crazy, but it's the way that I've done it. I just kind of blob some on and then I twist when I pull off so I don't get a string. And then I put it where I want it. And I like doing it this way because then I can place the crystal exactly where I want it. Especially when doing like scatter patterns or straight lines or whatever. Like this, doing what I'm doing here, you could, do just fine in a syringe and place it. But I like being able to place it in the moment because sometimes when you're putting multiple dots out, you're not spacing correctly or getting it exactly where you want it. And once you start putting some crystals on, you realize, oh, this one should have been really over here. So if you're doing it this way and you're placing it one by one in the moment, then you don't have to worry if you have those dots spaced correctly or where you want it. All right, so I'll stop there. And then all I gotta do is then just put on, I'm gonna swipe and twist. I'm just gonna put underneath it, I'll put a 20. And see, I think this is pretty quick. Maybe y'all who do the syringes feel like, the way you're doing it is quicker than this, but I don't know. I just feel like it's cleaner. It's still pretty quick for me to be able to just swipe it on and place it exactly where I want it. Okay, so then I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to take some 16s. 16, I can do 12 like this, but it gets a little tight. So 16 really is probably like the tiniest I can go, and then I can slightly do 12 if I want to be a little adventurous. But then if I were to go smaller, which I really don't ever go smaller than that. I really don't ever go smaller than 16, quite honestly. But you just put it on, tap it down. See, that's just going to kind of cover a little bit. And then what I'm going to do in between is I'm going to take a 40. Take a 40 in the fuchsia and put it in between both of those. So this will just cover up all the not so great stitching. But I think this is a pretty nice, quick transformation from the other skirt to this. And so I think she'll be happier that it's not so heavy, and that she'll be able to twizzle without feeling like she's being blown over by a tornado. So, all right, so I'm going to speed this up to do a little time lapse to show you the rest of the beading, and then I'll show you on the mannequin, because we always have to do a little mannequin twirl. We need a little twirl to make our day a little better, right? All right, so fast. Ding, 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 ding. Before I put her on the mannequin and spin her around, I thought it would be nice just to look at these little crystal details. So I loved doing this one. So I've got crystal AB in 40, 8, 40, 30, and then 20, and then up to 16 on these stripes. And then here I have this shape. I can't remember what this shape is called, but they're also in crystal AB, but I love this shape. I just think it's so cool going up. And then I've got some fuchsia in the 48, 40, 30, 20, and 16. And then I got here crystal AB along with, as you can see kind of from the side, volcano. I love volcano because it's one of the special effects where you're looking straight down on it. It's kind of like a purpley color. And you turn it to the side, it turns red and yellow, which is really cool. So I love all the special effects colors like heliotrope and Bermuda blue and anything that kind of has a shift to it. I think that's really nice. And then there's some crystal golden shadow inside this nude part. So I thought you might like a little close-up detail, but I really loved doing this one, so it's fun to see it again. So now she'll get her new life with her nice and light and airy skirt. All right, now we're gonna spin her on the mannequin. Here we go. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video of me taking the dress from this to this. Hopefully that edit worked. I had that edit in my mind, and hopefully editor Brad can edit those things to make it work the way that I have it in my mind. If not, I think we can get past it. All right, I think the dress turned out really well. I'm happy with it. I don't think you can tell that I changed out the skirt. You know, sometimes you have a really good idea for something or something fun, and it just doesn't work. The skater needs to be comfortable because they're out there competing. They're out there doing elements, and if they can't do their elements when they're competing because of the costume, like, what's going on, you know? So sometimes, you know, you can step out of your boundaries and try something. If it doesn't work, then you just got to go in and fix it. So I think that's what we did here. I hope the customer will be happy with it. So it's a more simple version of what we had, but I think she'll be able to twizzle her way without getting off balance like she was. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, you can like, you can subscribe, you can comment, you can leave me a question down below. You can also push the bell notification. When you push that bell notification, it lets you know when I put out new videos. So if you've been enjoying these videos and you want to see more, you can do one of two things. You can wait for the next one, or you can go back and watch what I've already done. I got videos that are kind of piling up. So if this is a brand new video to you and you're just finding out who I am, you can go look at what I've already put out. And then every Tuesday and Friday, I put out new videos. So Tuesdays are my kind of like whatever videos of like little things that I'm doing around my studio. And then my Friday videos are start to finish making costumes, kind of the current costumes that I'm working on. So I hope that you check those out. So please like, subscribe, comment, and push the bell notification. I think that's it. And check out the old videos and then wait patiently for my new videos. All right. I hope that you guys are having a beautiful day. I hope that this put a little smile on your face. And it's time for me to go home because I'm going on a little adventure this weekend. But by the time you see this video, it will have been over. So just know that by the time you saw this video, I went on an adventure and I've already come back to Atlanta. All right. Well, have a good night.